There's no denying that women's professional sports are entering a new economic era driven by investment, innovation, and media growth, both on and off the field. A new report from the collective at Wasserman explores these trends, and joining us now to help break it down is Alyson Walker, Senior Vice President, Strategy and Growth at the collective at Wasserman. Alyson, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
You call this a new economic era for women's sports. What do you mean by that? Where is it heading?
Well, it's certainly a defining time in history for women's professional sports globally. This report certainly focused more in North America. Really, the incredible records being set. We used to talk about the potential or the emerging nature of pro women's sports. We're now seeing unprecedented performances on the field of play, record engagement, and significant investments in these sports. And so we feel it's our job in partnership with RBC, a great supporter of women's sports, to tell these stories, show these trends, and point out to investors what's coming.
So what has changed? That is it just it's had a chance to mature and we're starting to see that?
It's a flywheel effect. We see new investment. Capital is certainly a catalyst here. Both individuals, celebrities, and of course institutional investment now into these pro women's sports. This investment then creates, of course, stronger product on the field of play, creates new revenue streams, increased engagement, and that, of course, leads to higher valuations, and the flywheel has a great impact on what we see and how people are engaging with these sports. And so as a result, we're seeing great new property innovation and high growth sports. So we always think of tennis and golf as being mature sports in the women's sports space, certainly basketball, soccer, and hockey with leagues in North America that are extremely successful now, established. We're starting to look at other leagues and other models in volleyball and softball. So across the board in many sports, the trajectory of growth is just incredible. And the capital that's going into these different sports is really helping that.
And when you get this capital coming in from private equity and things like that, that's they're not investing for the love of the game. They're investing because they see a really good opportunity here.
Yeah, we've seen a real shift from what we call charity to an actual return on investment. And that's such an important piece of the success and the growing sustainability of women's professional sport. We need to be able to show this return for investors. And across all metrics, we see that. Of course, there's always a comparison to men's professional sports, particularly the Big Five in North America. This will take time, and that's why it's so important that we're seeing this institutional investment, because it gives us some time to grow these sports. Part of this report is really focused on adjacent markets that are helping to grow this opportunity. It's been very hard to find women's professional sport on traditional broadcast, and so the demand for these types of sports is actually what's creating media and innovation and creating new platforms that are scaling rapidly, often digitally native, that really give an opportunity for women's sports to be less occasional and more 24/7.
More destination viewing. I mean, one of the ones you talk about, the comparisons, the WNBA always seems to be the one at the center of that. They are always getting compared. Are they starting to make money now? And what are some of the success stories of leagues in North America?
Yeah, I mean, the WNBA is an interesting one because it's not new. In fact, going into its 30th season, everybody in Canada should know we've got a WNBA team, the Toronto Tempo, tipping off in the spring. This is going to be incredible for all sports fans, frankly. And what's been actually really interesting about the W is it's been hard to access that here in Canada. Obviously, people can find it online. We're going to see that shift with a home team. Some of the valuations are incredible. The highest valued team is the New York Liberty. I saw in some of the images that you're showing. They're valued at $400 million now,
wow.
Which is really, those are real numbers. In the NWSL, the Women's Professional Soccer League based in the U.S., Angel City FC was recently valued at $280 million. So we're really talking about real money now. Again, a lot of this, when we look at what fuels growth, are driven by four different sort of revenue factors. The first being, in no particular order, sponsorships, media rights and viewership, of course, attendance and merchandise that are all increasing based on demand for these sports and based on the fact that investment's been made. So you've got stars like Caitlin Clark, who are incredible basketball players. People really want to tune in and watch. And so it goes back to that flywheel effect again.
What is the most important of those four you mentioned? What is the most important at this moment?
Traditionally, media rights deals are a huge indicator of success. We saw a recent WNBA deal, an 11-year deal at $2.2 billion with Discovery, Amazon, NBC. The NWSL, the soccer league in the U.S., just did a four-year deal for $240 million with CBS, ESPN, and Amazon. So these again are real deals where investors are starting to see, okay, so that's real money. It's sustainable revenue coming into the ecosystem. Second to that, I would say, is sponsorship revenue. Mercedes and the WTA actually just did a historic deal worth in total $500 million going into women's professional tennis. So these types of deals really indicate that there's long-term sustainable growth happening in professional women's sports.
And what can we expect? We're almost out of time, but where do you see it going in the next couple of years? Say, what's next for them? How do they take it to the next level?
Well, I think investment, again, into these different areas, that the beautiful thing is there are different areas to invest beyond just buying into teams. And so you'll see more going into data science and facilities. We see biomarker analytics firms like Oracle and Kitman Labs that are actually looking at women's specific physiology. Only 6% of sports science research is done on women. And so the more we can see that come to life, that increases the product on the field of play, that reduces injury, that helps with recovery time. We've got new teams coming on board all the time. We've got these new sports like volleyball with 2 pro leagues next year, the LA Olympics coming that's going to demonstrate the power of volleyball and softball and cricket and other sports on the women's side. And so there's just so much more product and so much more accessibility. I think you're going to see a huge explosion of women's sports in the future.
Okay, we have to wrap it up there, but Alyson, thank you very much for joining us. All the best for 2026.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Alyson Walker is Senior Vice President, Strategy and Growth at the Collective at Wasserman.